things just weren't working the way they were supposed to be working, and it might not be somebody else's fault. It could actually be due to a lack of clarity. It could be to a reason sometimes internal, that the things outside of us, the things the world just seems to be pushing against us. Sometimes it's because we're standing in the wrong position and we don't have the clarity of vision to get to the right place. So sometimes you have to go and think inside and internally decide, where do I actually want to be in order to move yourself to a better place? Show of hands if that's ever been a situation you've put yourself into, where you realized you were standing in a spot you didn't want to be anymore and you wanted to go somewhere different. We're going to go into that today in today's wealth principle. Before we do, welcome back, alchemists. This is the 52 Weeks to Wealth with myself, Walter Morello. We've been on this journey with Alchemist Nation, moving through these 52 wealth principles for a 52-week process. Now, this is week 21. So everybody who's been on this call for all 21 weeks, show of hands to the camera. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being committed to the process, going all the way through. Now, some of you have been here for the last 5 years, our OGs, the original gangsters of Alchemist Nation. So let's give Michael Shine, Ron Bowling, Darina, Mitch Jorsky, Doug McGurk a big round of applause. The OGs been here for a long time. Some of you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This is our 5th season of building millionaires. Now, Alchemist Nation is committed to the process of building 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. All I ask, a lot of the stuff that we provide is free. All I ask is that you commit to doing the same thing. Show of hands if you're committed to doing all your deals morally, ethically, legally, and building 100 millionaires as you go. Awesome. So our goal is to help you get to there yourself, and then we'll work your way through it. If you're looking to double your income, double your net worth this year, also please type yes in the chat or throw your hands to the camera, whichever is easiest for you. Yes. Awesome. All right. So we're doing it the same way. The reason this wealth principle number 21 is so important is because many entrepreneurs lose their vision somewhere along the way. Somewhere along the process, we seem to think that the world that's happening to us is not our fault. It is somebody else's fault, or it's the tactical time in the marketplace, or it's just the way real estate is, or it's just the way business is, or it's because I was born in this place, or I'm in this city, or it's because my body isn't the right way, or I need to sleep more than other people, or I have kids, or my spouse won't let me. By the way, number one reason that people aren't rich, I've heard the number one reason that people don't buy real estate is because my spouse won't let me. Show of hands if you've ever felt that or know somebody who's said that before. Yes. Yes, it's common in the industry. So today's wealth principle is 21. Create the definiteness of your vision. So many of you are very clear in your vision. Perfect. We're going to put even more clarity on it today. We're going to go just a little more detailed. For some of you, your vision's like, I actually don't know. I know I have goals. I have some ideas of what I want in my life. For you, you're going to go a lot deeper today. You're going to get a much better, more vivid vision of what you're looking to accomplish. We're going to go through some steps. We're going to do some physical, actual thought lesson, and then we're going to go into actual action steps, and then we're going to go into a mental process that is run by Doug McGurk, who is our champion of the mind. So show of hands if you're ready to dive in, just ready to get rocking and rolling. Awesome. So starting off, there's some unfair advantages that Alchemist Nation has. One, we do read a book every week. So we're going to go into the book of the week this week. At the end of this, we're going to have Mike Shine. Somewhere around 20 minutes from now, we'll have him come in and give us a review of the book of the week. And one of the other unfair advantages is that we as a community are committed to coming back every single week to do a little bit more to what we're doing. So the wealth principle today is stacking onto the next wealth principle next week. So there are two things that we're going to aim for with definiteness of purpose. One is clarity. So we want clarity around what we actually want. And the reason that is important is because if you begin with clarity and clarifying your purpose itself and defining what success means to you, because success, by the way, does not mean the car, it doesn't mean the house, doesn't mean the Lambo, it doesn't mean the nice clothes or the watch or the bracelet or the purse, it doesn't mean the great looking spouse or the great body. Success is genuinely whatever you decide it is. If you are the person who says, I want to be the greatest nurse on the planet, I want to make sure that when I go into the hospital, I feel great, my clients feel great, every patient that I work with heals faster, better, smoother because of the genuine skill that I have, then that is you being successful. If you go through the classes and you get the job that you want and you're able to be in that position, that makes you a successful human being. Show of hands if you agree that success is not all about money. It's about you personally at your level, whatever you define success at. So providing that clarity for yourself gives you a little bit more fun in what you're doing. If your vision resonates with you, it should resonate with your passion. It should resonate with your aspirations. And you should have a vision of the kind of life that you want to create for yourself. Now, it doesn't have to be the life you're living today. So I want to be very clear that we will talk a little woo-woo in this one. This one will be a little bit on the woo-woo side. We're going to go a little bit into the mindset side, but we're also going to bring back and hit some of the tactical because, hey, what good is thinking if we don't take action? Show of hands if you got to think and take action to grow rich. You can't just think it. You do have to implement some of these things. So I want your vision. By the time we're done today, it should be resonating deeply inside you with your innermost desires and serve as a beacon of inspiration that propels you forward. Propels you, not something you have to work towards, something that actually pulls you forward. The second thing is specificity with your goals. And that's where the tactical side of this component comes in. We want to translate your vision into specific details. If you've heard of the word SMART goals, that means we're going to break down the long-term vision into small, manageable milestones and objectives that can help you work towards them incrementally. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, which means there must be some sort of timeline on them. If there is no timeline, then it's just a dream. Show of hands if you know there's a lot of dreamers out there. Yeah, this community is not made up of dreamers. This is people who believe. Belief and faith are created by past stories. They're created by proof of success. Now, before I was a real estate investor in my head, a real estate investor who owned before I owned 100 units, I was a real estate investor who was shopping for real estate. Before I was shopping for real estate, I was a real estate investor who was learning about real estate. And before I was a real estate investor learning about real estate, I was a guy who just wanted financial freedom, and I was learning about the asset classes that could get me to financial freedom. Show of hands if you understand what I made the transition. I went from a guy thinking about investing in an asset class to a guy who committed to real estate. From that point forward, everything I learned and everybody I connected to was real estate related. And as I continued to progress, I no longer was a learner. I was now a doer. I was a hunter. I was a shopper. I was hunting for the deals. And then once I was closing on the deals, then I was somebody who was managing those properties. Then I was somebody who was raising capital in those properties. And I was somebody who eventually became somebody who was teaching and passively investing in those same exact properties. Show of hands if you could follow the same path. Yes, it wasn't overnight, but what it was a clear, simple, specific set of goals that I'd set. And before we dive into this any further, show of hands if you want to be a real estate investor, or you already are, just by being on this call, right? Excellent. Show of hands if you're an entrepreneur, and you can also use more clients, more leads, more income. Excellent. So just because we're real estate investors doesn't mean the principles aren't exactly the same. Real estate is not an investment business. Real estate is a business. It is a real estate asset holding business. And so as a business of any kind, we have to learn some fundamental rules. And in real estate, specifically as an investment class, there are 4 steps to becoming a millionaire, 4 steps to a millionaire in the 4 different ways. The first is think a million. And this comes straight out of the Millionaire Real Estate Investor's Guide, the blue book from Gary Keller. The second one is you must buy a million. Now, buy a million doesn't mean net worth. It doesn't mean income, but you do own $1 million. I remember I was driving down the street, down South Main Street in Fall River, and I had a gentleman in my car. This is where the book broke to $250,000. The story is actually in that book. It's how the book opens. And he said to me, he's like, how much real estate do you own right now? And I said, oh, bro, I own like, I don't know, $1.2 million in real estate. And he fucking paused. He was like, what? He's like, bro, you should be proud of that. You own $1 million in real estate. He's like, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, but I owe like $1 million in debt. I owe my net worth is only like $200,000 on this, and I owe like $1 million on it. He said, bro, even the fact that you owe $1 million is insane to me. He's like, I've never owed more than $50,000. Like the fact you owe $1 million and you're not sweating it or freaking out right now is mind-blowing to me. But he's like, you own like $1.2 million, $1.4 million. Like this is nuts. So step 2 is buy $1 million. You must acquire $1 million worth of assets. Step 3 is net worth of $1 million. Now there's a couple of ways to get there. You could just pay those properties off over time, the 30-year plan or the 20-year plan or the 15-year plan, or you could acquire more. You could do what the more aggressive real estate investors do, the debt real estate investors do. We acquire more with equity in the purchase. And if you've been in Alchemist Station long enough, you've heard me talk about buy at a 20% discount, do a forced appreciation play of 20%, hold the property for 4 years to gain an additional 20% of appreciation if the market is appreciating. If it's not, we don't worry about that one. And then over the next 4 years, raise rents by 5% every single year, and you will increase your ROI on the property. Your cap rate on the property will bring you up to an additional 11% of income, 11% of net worth. So fancy, you understand, commercial is based on income. So if you increase your income, raise your rents, you can increase the value of the property. So that is a structure, a process that can get you to 71 to 51% equity in a property over 4 years. So let's say you buy $2 million worth of property, you can have in 4 years $1 million of equity with that scenario. Show of hands if that's true. You could also do what Ken Ingram just did, where you purchase a property with $1.5 million worth of equity in it because of the equity play being large enough, being his forced appreciation play and his equity play at the purchase being a large enough property that generates that kind of income. That was a $1.7, I think, million purchase. And so the equity in it is just significantly larger based on how much the size of the property is. Show of hands if that makes sense. Lots of different ways to get to the equity position of $1 million. And I share that story because Ken Ingram's only been with us for like 9 months. He came at the summit, he rock and rolled. He was a rock star, by the way, in business before. So he already understood business and he was in the hospitality space growing up, but he'd never owned a hotel before. And now he will. In the next couple of weeks, he's going to close. Fourth component is cash flow $1 million. Earn $1 million, cash flow $1 million. Now, a lot of people, talk about earning $1 million. Most of you, all of you, will earn $1 million in your lifetime. When I first did my first spreadsheet, I realized it was going to take me 20 years to make $1 million. I was making $50,000 a year, and that was not cool to me. But I was going to be a millionaire. I knew it. Like eventually, I would be there if I stayed the path. And I had to change. I had to speed it up. And the first step was really just understanding my vision of earning more. It started with that. And when I realized that I wanted to earn more, I realized I couldn't do it in my asset class. I was working a job, my W-2 asset class. The only thing I knew was me, sell me to an employer and then work there for the next 10 years. So if you've been a part of that game, you understand that doesn't work out so well. It can be a great option. There's the 7 streams of income, the 7 streams of income that everybody has or should have. 7 streams all millionaires have access to. Show of hands if you know what they are. All right, all right. Show of hands if you'd like to hear what they are. Anyway, right? I just want to know anyway. Number 1, active income. You might write this down. Number 1, active income. By the way, if you are an influencer or want to be an influencer, if you're a leader of a community, this is a video you need to do, because when you say there's only 7 streams of income that every millionaire has, it's an instant clip that works on all the platforms. First is active income. This comes from your job. This comes from you selling. This comes from you doing active income. Second one, rental property. And this is the order with which I received them. The second one is rental income. This is rental profits, cash flow from rentals. The third one is profits from a business. Profits from a business. This is cash flow that comes from a business versus real estate. The fourth one is capital gains. Capital gains comes from either the sale of real estate or the sale of a business or the sale of large amounts of stocks. This is a capital gain, comes from the sale of assets. Fifth, you have interest. Interest is money that is paid to you in the form of interest. You lend somebody $100,000, which I recently have done at 12%, and that pays you $1,000 every single month. That's interest. Fifth stream of income. Sixth stream of income is, well, I don't want to say royalties. That would be number 7. The sixth stream of income, I'm going to say royalties for now, is royalties. This comes from the work that you're doing. The work that comes from other things like my books pay royalties, my coaching programs pay royalties. And I'll give you the 7th stream of income, which really is the 6th. And that one comes from stocks, dividends. Dividends are what I normally call the 6th stream of income, and then royalties are the 7th stream of income. Dividends are paid, they're passive income that comes off of a business that you are not really an owner of. You're an owner of the share, the stock of the business. Different from profits. Profits come from a business you built and own solely or are part ownership in, whereas stocks pay a dividend. Now, that's also passive income. Show of hands, we understand six of these are relatively passive. Two of these are relatively active. Capital gains, that can be relatively active. Profits can be relatively active. And then active income is all in you, all you. So 7 streams of income. Let's dive into getting your vision now. Now that we've gotten a clear idea. By the way, that was really important for me to realize that I couldn't hit my financial goal using just my active income. Show of hands if this may be the first time or this is an awareness you've also had and you came to the same conclusion. Oh my God, I can't do it through this. What are these other six? What are the other 6 streams of income that I could add into? What's nice about them is that if you visualize them, which is what we're going to do today, if you visualize them properly, you end up with a pretty passive stream of income that can be a monster fire hose or an avalanche, as Tony Robbins likes to say. So we're going to talk very quickly about visualization. Has anybody ever worked through a visualization exercise? Excellent. Yeah, you do it every week with us, right? So Doug's going to walk us through a visualization exercise in a little bit. As he goes through, he's going to keep it open-ended, but what's beautiful about it is it will be your actual exercise for your actual wealth development. So you're going to walk through and you're actually going to see what your life looks like. Oh, Doug is not on this call. He cannot. You know what? Screw it. I will do it. Show of hands if it's okay if I do the visualization exercise this week. Excellent. I'm also a certified hypnotist and LP practitioner. So even though I love Doug's voice and I love his music, you're going to get the best of what I do and you will just not get the music. So that's why I love Doug because he brings the music in. I love his modulated voice for success. So I will give you a visualization exercise later on. And that, by the way, is part of this principle. Before Doug was doing it, I used to do this exercise, and this was meditation for success. So I'll be doing that with you today, the visualization technique. Number 2, affirmations and declarations. And I'll toss in some affirmations and declarations into our visualization exercise. But affirmations that build wealth are things like large streams of money come to me easily and effortlessly that I get to keep, use, and invest leisurely at my will. Those are great affirmations. Another great affirmation is I am the greatest salesperson on the planet because each one of you has to be great at sales. And I don't want to say the word has. I mean, each one of you gets to learn sales, gets to practice sales, gets to be in sales. Sales is the best strategy for increasing income in all 7 of the streams. I love selling. I have a great product and I constantly improve. In fact, all 52 wealth principles, if you go through and read them, those are my affirmations. If you go through and read all 52 wealth principles back to back to back to back, that's the affirmation list that I use. I won't be using that today, but I will be sticking to a couple of affirmations that are really strong for visualizing your purpose, such as I am clear about where I want to go and where I am going. So affirmations and declarations are very important. You may have a few you want to write down as we're going through today's principle. Write them down, put them somewhere that you can leverage them, like the refrigerator, put them on your phone. Some of my affirmations are right here on my phone. As soon as it turns on, you can see them show up. And that affirmation is, I attract what I desire. Simple affirmation. Next, action-oriented planning. So to take proactive steps towards your vision, we're going to develop a strategic plan that outlines specific tasks, milestones, and deadlines needed to achieve your plan. We're going to do that in a short, small version today. I'm mostly going to give you the framework so you can do this at a higher level. So fans, if you can do things, if you learn them, you can do habits, you can create massive skills from a small framework used many times over. Awesome. Oh, I love that one, Mike. I am a center of God's creation. Fantastic. Large sums of money come my way often and easily that I get to keep, invest, and give with God's blessing. Yeah, if you have great affirmations, drop them in the chat. I love sharing these. Wonderful. Drop your favorite affirmation in the chat now, and I may incorporate that in a little bit. So action-oriented planning, we're going to go through a little bit of that today. And then action steps for implementation. So before we do the visualization and before we go into the meditation, very quickly, I want you to define your vision. I want you to define for sure at the top the thing for sure that you want to accomplish in the next 3 years. The next 3 years, this is for sure a thing. One of mine is to have my son make it to 2.5 years old and pretty happy, and by then saying some words and running around. So That is a part of my vision. It's a non-negotiable for me. Show of hands, if you know, it's pretty easy. It's one that I know I can pull off, right? So I see that clearly. He's healthy, he's intelligent, he's loving his life, and he's feeling excited about every day, and every day is an adventure. I feel the same way about this community. 2.5 years from now, I see us with 300 events running across this country with leaders who care about their people, with teams who are effectively building millionaires, who care about every single attendee who walks through the room. And this is the mindset that I instill into Alchemist Nation. If you walk through my fucking door, you are mine. I will help you. I will serve you. I will take you to that next level. That's the mentality that I see Alchemist Station 2.5 years from now is 300 events with the leaders and the team just being like, I will serve and take care of you at the greatest level, no matter what it is. Health, wealth, relationships, you are ours, and we're going to take you to that next level. My real estate portfolio, 3 to 5 years from now, I see us owning $1 to $5 billion together. I don't want to invest with anybody else. I just want to invest with this community. So that's a clear mindset for where I want to go. And for everybody who says, hell yeah, I'm with you, obviously we make room for those who are along the same mission, along the same line. Number two, create a vision board. Create a vision board. So inside Alchemist Nation, we have this map, and this map shows currently like 23 active events that are happening across the country. But what I did with the team is like, I need to see what it looks like with 300 events. I need a visual. So the team literally, I think I spent like $800 having a VA go and spend all their time building this out. And I took a screenshot of it. And now the map doesn't show that anymore. But I took the screenshot and I have that. And I look at that every day. And that's part of my vision board of like, that's how we're building this community. It's going to look like this. And I took a screenshot of the trusted team. I said, these are the 12 individuals. This is the process they're going to walk through that's going to help build a millionaire. And I look at that and I look at that framework. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. What does your vision board look like? I built a spreadsheet and I showed this to Vinny the other day. And I said, Vinny, this is how I'm going to buy $5 billion worth of real estate. And I just want you to check to see if any of this is wrong, if all of this looks right. And he said, yep, that's exactly what it is. You're going to need that many property managers. You're going to need that. There's going to be that many units. You're going to have that much of a down payment. And that's how many investors will have to be invested. And that's about the debt you're going to have. And so I was like, okay. So I asked him, I was like, can a vision board be a spreadsheet? And he's like, yep, a lot of vision boards are spreadsheets because how are you going to go actually and see all those properties? You're not going to, there's no way for you to visually see owning 10,000 units. Show of hands if that makes sense. The only way you'll know is through a spreadsheet. It's the only way you'll actually know how much you own is through an actual spreadsheet. Another solution is I went to Blue Rock Capital. Blue Rock Capital owns A-class properties. They own 10,000 units. I own shares in Blue Rock. And so Blue Rock was a great vision for their website. I looked at that as this is what we could own together in Alchemization is this many units. This is, and you can look at their portfolio. You can actually go and look at it and see that's what it looks like. So create a vision board, but it doesn't have to be cut out to magazines. It could be Pinterest. When I first started teaching this, I was teaching using Pinterest and saying, grab these different things. I took pictures of like another guy's body with abs and I slapped my face on it and this little Photoshop. And before I was single. So I took a super hot looking chick and I put her next to that guy. And before you knew it, I was with a super hot looking chick who, in my mind, she does real estate, loves real estate. And look at the one I've attracted. You seem to attract exactly what you focus on. So vision boards are powerful. I confirmed this again with Vinny on Thursday. I asked him, he's like, oh man, I built all this with vision boards. Saw all of vision boards, created this with vision boards. He said, I spent tens of thousands of dollars on building PowerPoints so that my investors can visualize what we're doing, so they can see what we're doing. So that the vision board becomes more than just you seeing it. It becomes, how do I transfer this into the minds of the people I'm going to need to invest, to work for me, to work with me, to buy my product? Being able to create that vision. So write it down. If you don't have a PowerPoint that sells your business, your investments, your company, your career, your job, right? When we walk through people through our sales process, we walk them through the vision of what it is to be on part of our sales team. When you walk somebody through investing in one of your properties, you got to walk them through why the property is such a great deal. Show of hands if you understand this. The vision's important, not just for you. I love the vision board. It's a great place to start, but you've got to be able to get this vision into the minds of others because it's who, not how. How do you bring a contractor in at a great price who's going to do the work the way you want it done? You're going to have to sell them on why this needs to be done this way. Who is the tenant who's going to live in here afterwards? Who's the buyer of this house who's going to come in afterwards? Hey, man, we want to do a good job because a good human being family is going to be living in here. I want to make sure we don't cut any corners, right? I want to make sure it's safe, clean, fun, livable, enjoyable. I want them to feel great when they live in my properties. So fans feel that way. That vision, you have to have it in order to transfer it to others. Which, oh man, Ken Ingram has it. Oh, we were looking at his hotel the other day, and it was just like he's like literally explaining like how he could see the guests enjoying the process and like going through, and they're on this road, and like he's like, we're gonna do this with the bedrooms, we're gonna make these themed and make it a lot more fun. And the property looks great already. So number three, review and refine regularly. Review and refine your vision regularly. When I first started in 2015, well, I was obsessed with wealth before that, but 2015, I went through a divorce that really forced me into thinking outside the box, into being all by myself and having to build up and start setting tangible goals. I got into the real estate sales space, so they were telling me to set goals, and they're like, you got a vision board, you got to set goals, you got to do all this stuff, and you got to have a vision for yourself. And I was like, I don't know how to do any of that, but what I do know is $10,000 passive income is my goal right now. And that looks like 40 units in Fall River, Massachusetts. So I wrote down on a piece of paper, on a little post-it note that I still have somewhere in my house. I saw it when I moved last, little post-it note, and I put on the back side of it the date. It said 2015. And on the front side of it, I said 40 units paid off, cash flowing $10,000 a month. And underneath that, I said, so I can help other people do what they want. So I can help other people reach their goals. That was the only thing I fucking wrote in that notebook was I wanted to make 40 units, 10,000 passive income. I want to help other people reach their financial goals. Well, I've done way more than that. And $10,000 passive income exceeds what we've been able to bring in. And this community, we're helping way more people than I ever envisioned. I just want to help my little corner. I just want to help Florida. I just want to help my city, improve my own existing city. And it wasn't until I moved to Las Vegas and I asked God for a bigger vision, a bigger goal. And he was like, well, I don't know if he said it, but the thought came into my mind instantly that said, there's 300 gateway communities just like Fall River. Why are you thinking small? There's 300 gateway communities. Why don't you go serve the other gateway communities? Because those communities need other people more than just Fall River alone. And it came from a lot of time thinking. And that night, I packed everything up. I got in a car and I drove home. And I drove home. It took me 24 hours to get to my first pit stop. I stopped at 2 o'clock in the morning. I could not stay awake anymore. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I drove another 18 hours straight because the day I landed was my birthday. I wanted to be in Fall River taking action on the day of my birth. And it was also the day that my team meets for their morning meeting at 10 o'clock. I walked into the office at 10:05, exhausted, but my team told me it was like Moses walking off the mountain. They were like, you were so clear on where we were going and what we were doing. And it was inspirational to watch you. It was just amazing to listen to how clear you were with the vision. And that was in 2017. 2017, I came back from Las Vegas, just 3 years out there, 3 months out there, clear with a new intention to go out and really change what we're doing. We built Agent Alchemist at the time. It wasn't Alchemist Nation. We were just focused on agents serving building millionaires through the agency side. And that's a long way to say, wherever your vision is, whatever you dreamed up, it will probably change. And that's okay. It will probably be bigger as time gets closer, as you get closer and closer to the end result. I wanted 40 units. Now I want 10,000 units. I want to do it with you. I wanted just to have 10,000 passive income. Now I want to pull in 100 million passive income, and I want to be able to donate it to great causes. So that's things that changed as I progressed through life. I don't want you to set unrealistic goals that you don't feel motivated by. I want you to set big goals that you feel you can achieve and just keep working towards them. Show of hands, if we understand, refine and review regularly. You can change it and adjust it. Just do what you will do today. Set goals that get you on fire today. And 3 years from now, we'll decide. Next year, you can decide. Every year, we go through this wealth principle. Every year, Wealth Principle 21 comes up and we can review our vision. So friends, you're committed to continuing no matter what happens. Stay focused on your dream. I love it. So every week we have a principle of the week. And so we have a book of the week. And this week we have a very special book. And fortunately, me and Mike spent about 2 hours building these lists. We said, okay, like here's the 52 wealth principles. Mike, what books assign? And we were like, we'll bang this out in 2 hours. No problem. We set the calendar and 2 hours came and went. And I think we had like 15 books assigned. And then we set another 2 hours and he and I figured it out. We put them all back into place. And over the years, we've adjusted a few books here and there because we felt that they better fit the principle in a more concise manner, because the idea wasn't to have huge books that took a long time to get through. The idea was the right book that you can process. So without further ado, Michael Shine, the holistic attorney, the closer, keeper of the books. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Yay for me. All right, so let's start with a little tough love, okay? So you can definitely go through life and you can do things matter affecting matter. You know, you can buy a house, get a bank loan, pay that loan for 30 years, and you will own that house. And that's matter affecting matter. But I'm telling you, and this is the reason I say tough love, that if you dive into the spiritual, as Walter says, the woo-woo, I swear to you, things that could have taken 30, 40, 50 years, you can get in an instant. You can get stuff today. There is a whole magic world out there, which makes life so much more exciting. And if you ever do a deep dive into stuff, you know, usually people start with the book The Secret and the Law of Attraction, and then they go on. If you do research and dive into this rabbit hole, you will find that there are thousands and thousands of authors and speakers and believers throughout history that all believe in the woo-woo. And there's a reason, because they've all become successful from that. So you can either do matter versus matter, or you can use the spiritual. And the way that works is perfectly evidenced by Shakti Gawan's Creative Visualization, which is a book from like the 1970s, and it's just amazing. But it teaches you how to visualize, and this is in a lot of the books that Walter and I picked. You know, you can go out there on the grind. I always say this to Walter, you can go out on the grind 24/7, 365. And again, if you do that, you're working very hard, but you probably will get, for example, business. Okay. But one of the other books we have on the 52 is the Wealthy Gardener. Wealthy Gardener, the guy who wrote it was a chiropractor, and he just started visualizing his phone ringing. And do you know what happened in a town that had like no people and no need for a chiropractor? His phone just started ringing off the hook, just out of nowhere. So visualize, visualize, visualize. I mean, I actually did that with my closing business. I read The Wealthy Gardener and I said, well, if a chiropractor can do it, so can a closing attorney. And everybody was saying, oh, no, the market's down right now. You won't get any business. There's no inventory out there. You're not going to be able. Do you know that because of The Wealthy Gardener, my phone rang off the hook like crazy, and I couldn't even figure out where these closings were coming from. Totally blessed. So I digress, but this is a manual for that. Creative visualization. It's about meditating. She gives you practices in here. She shows you how it works. She teaches you how to get a vision and do it. And you know, I used to sit there and say, no, I don't have time to meditate. I got to get to work. We've all done that one, right? Oh, I don't have time to do that. But recently I've been telling myself that the most important thing for us to do is spend that 15 minutes visualizing, meditating. That would probably be the most important thing you do every single day. So you can think of it as woo-woo, but call me in 10 years if you're still grinding 24/7, 365. When I swear to God, some of the stuff from doing visualization, I've had money, like big money, like 20 grand, just show up from nowhere in a day because I visualized it. So you could call it magic, you can call it woo-woo. It makes life much more interesting. And Shakti Gawan is the freaking OG. She started it way long ago. She knows exactly what she's talking about. I highly recommend this book. This book will absolutely change your life. It's not that thick. Go for it. Love you all. Peace.
Give
Peace.
Mike Shine a round of applause. The keeper of the books, the closer, the holistic attorney. I love it. The holistic attorney, the closer. It just sounds better in that order. So before we go any further, I want to show you an actual action step. So each one of you has a financial goal, true or true. You don't have to put it in the chat, but show of hands if you have a financial goal for this year. Excellent. Each one of you has a way you make money. True or true? You have a way to make money. Excellent. So then there's a price that you receive, a commission you receive for everything you sell. So then there's a number of times you must sell that thing. Show of hands if that's true for you, those of you in sales. Yes. You make a certain amount every time you sell a certain thing. So that math, I recently did this with my sales team. I said, okay, if you make every time you close a deal, you make 20, oh, I think it's $10 a week when you close. And if you closed all in one shot, it's $400 all at one time, one big lump sum. If it closes, it takes, you said it's $10 a week or 40 something dollars a month. So show of hands if you realize you got to sell a lot of those. It's a lot. Then they have another product, the Mastermind. They could sell the Mastermind for $5,000. They get $1,000. So they know now if I want to make 10,000, I got to sell 10 of those. There's a higher level product. They got my inner circle. That's a $25,000 product. They sell the $25,000 product. They make $5,000. So if they want to make 100,000, they'll have to sell 20 of those. Show fans, if you understand the simple math, right? They can, in their minds, they can think their way to how this needs to work out. So I built a spreadsheet to simplify the process. For those who are in sales, you'll get this immediately. We have sponsorships. This is a product on the left side. What types of sponsors are in the events? Then you can see how many are added over time. You see certain sponsors come in over time. This is for Alchemist Station, the actual mission to be able to pay for more and more people to walk through your events, which is more and more network for you to be able to raise capital from and do deals with. So as I was looking at it, I said, what is their monthly income at this point? Because it's all residual income. Like this isn't just like you make money from one time. This is the sponsorships are paid monthly. So our sales team actually gets residual income. Show of hands if you like residual income. They do too. Yes, it's like the insurance business. So monthly income starts going up. And over time, there's a point where it sucks in the beginning, like everything in life. And then over time, it starts to increase, increase, increase. And somewhere around, by the way, this bottom number is annual income if they stop selling at that point. So you can see at 100, they're doing okay. They're making like $50,000. But at 200, now they're breaking six figures. Now, what's cool about this is these are KPIs that they can follow. In an unrealistic world, that's why I'm very honest, this is an unrealistic world. 18 months, if somebody starts getting to the ability where they can sell 20, 30 in a week, they've now gotten to massive numbers. I tell everybody, this might take you 2 years. Right? It might take you 2 years to get to six figures with this type of product being at residual income like that. But your product, however it is, works the same exact way. If I sell more bi-weekly numbers, then I make X amount of money. Show of hands if you could do that simple math in your product. So if you want to make 100,000 and you got a $10,000 product, you sell 10 to make the $100,000. Awesome. That's your product. You got to sell one every 4 weeks. You sell one, actually, it's probably every 5 weeks. You sell one every 4 or 5 weeks, and in a year, you'll have made $100,000 at a $10,000 product. If you've got let's call it a $5,000 product, right? A $5,000 product. You got to sell 25 of those throughout the year. That means one every 2 weeks because, there's 52 weeks in a year. You can take 4 weeks off. If you want to sell a $2,500 product, now you got to sell that every single week. $2,500 every single week for 48 weeks makes you $100,000. If you're selling more expensive products, but your commission you take home is $2,500 a week, then you understand you got to make that per week. That comes down to an equation of $500 a day. I don't care about hourly rate. When I first learned these equations, the guys were like, yeah, that means basically if you're working 40 hours a week, you got to earn like $366 a week, an hour. I'm like, fuck that math, please. Like I am just going to make $500 a day. I'll probably do that in a sale, or I'll probably aim for $1,000 a day and I'll work less days. Show of hands if you could do that math in your head as well. Awesome. So don't do it in your head. Write it down. Get a spreadsheet. Map it out. Like I just showed you a pretty complex spreadsheet because the idea is I didn't build that just for one person. That was for a sales team of 30 people who are selling 100 sponsorships a year. And I want them to be able to pull in $50,000 to $100,000 in year one. That's my financial goal for my sales team. By the way, if you know a hustler, a hardworking hustler who cares about people, cares about real estate, wants to be able to raise a bunch of capital in the future, and needs a really good, strong network of entrepreneurs and professionals who are building communities and in sponsorship positions, then please let me know. We could use really good quality salespeople. I don't want a huge team. I want a great team. Does that make sense? I'm always hiring the best. because when you have a choice, always work with the best. It's a philosophy we take all the way through everything we do. So that is my ask. I'm wearing a shirt. It's a little different from a lot of your shirts. By the way, let's give everybody a round of applause for wearing Alchemist Nation or 100 Millionaires, or if you get Ken Ingram, you got the 100 Millionaires behind you. You got the business and real estate professionals, and Billy's got the cup, the 100 Millionaires cup. I love it. I love it. If you're missing a shirt and you want one, you can now get access to them. We finally made this available. You can go to alchemiststation.com. Up at the top right, there is the merch button. We made them as affordable as physically possible based on batch size. So obviously, the more that people order, the more affordable this eventually gets. So they're custom at the moment. That's why the price is where it is. All that money goes into buying more shirts and giving them away for free at our events. Show of hands if that's okay, if I have your permission to spend the money that way. Awesome. Excellent. So every shirt that you purchase, by the way, if you have shirts that you want and you don't see them on the website, please send an email to events@alchemistnation.com, because we are open to putting up 2 to 3 different shirts with names on deeds already on the list. I know that one's got to come back out. I know the point is not to work, it's to generate income, has to come back out. And I'm toying with the idea of bringing Mission to Millions back out as an option seasonally, because the event Mission to Millions is coming up April something. Dorena, when is Mission to Millions coming up?
April 12th through 14th.
April 12th to the 14th. Okay, I got the website up. I got it actually right here. All right, very quickly. Mission to Millions. What is it? It's a way to get your vision. Ironically, today's mission makes a lot of sense to be placed right where it is. And we didn't necessarily do that on purpose. It's just that the principles kind of run. And I was asked, where should I put Mission to Millions? I was like, well, principle 21, 22, 23 kind of tie into mission and purpose. So it makes sense to put it this time of the year. So Mission to Millions is run not by me. It's run by Doug and his wife Heidi. And Doug isn't on the call today. I'll be doing the session that he would normally do. But Doug is a speaker. He teaches people how to speak from the heart. He and his wife are teaching coaches and people who want to speak on stage how to position their business to come from a place of purpose and passion, so that they can make money doing what they love, much like I do. I raise capital just by being a decent human being in my mind. I get to do the thing I really love, and that's how I raise capital. I get to find deals, off-market deals from this community. I get to do deals with you just by doing what I love, doing what I teach, and having great people like Larry and Billy and Ron and Victor and Greg and Gary, like and Mike, all part of this mission. And John Rodriguez, there he is, driving. Drive safe, John. So this is coming up. This is now a $97 product because we're doing it virtually. Before, when it was $3,500, that was in person live at the hotel. And it costs a lot of money for people to fly down. It costs a lot of money for people to pay for the hotel. And also, it took you away from your family and your business, which, by the way, there's a time and a place to do that. There is a time to separate from your normal space to get to a new magical place. But because of right now where the market is and right now where everybody has voted, this particular event is going to be online, and mostly because I have a son on the way and I want to make sure that I'm flexible enough to, because he will literally be landing around the same time as this event. So this is okay, mostly me cautiously making sure that my life can fit in a child being born around the same exact time. So thank you for understanding, but also you're saving thousands of dollars. It's only $97 now for anybody who wants to jump into Mission to Millions. If you've been through it before, it will be different because it's virtual and it's going to be very interactive because Doug and Heidi are teaching it 100%. Also, if you are part of the Recession Proof Challenge, show of hands, if you've been part of the RPC before, if you show up this challenge, I will give you a ticket to Mission to Millions for free. So if you're coming to the RPC this month, if you're active this month inside the Recession Proof Challenge, and by the way, we're going to be tracking attendance. So if you're in on day one, at least mission one, that's where we're tracking attendance. I'm showing you how to game the system, but don't discount yourself. Make sure you show up for every single mission. Show of hands if you understand. It's an opportunity. Excellent. So everybody who jumps into the Recession Proof Challenge this month is going to get Mission to Millions for free. And everybody who jumps in for Mission to Millions, if you want access to the Recession Proof Challenge, we will give you that for free. Is that valuable? Is that okay if we do it that way? So if you've been in the RPC before, the Research Proof Challenge, you know what it is. We're going to be teaching marketing. We're going to be teaching sales. We're going to be holding you accountable to doing the 3 things that make you successful every single day. Reaching out to 10 people, putting 4 into the database, because it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, and what they know you for. And because 1/3 are going to hate you no matter what, 1/3 are going to love you no matter what, and 1/3 are not going to care about you no matter what, we're deleting the other 6 that you talked to that day. We're going to do a post on social media every day. It's part of the challenge. 21 days of a post on social media every single day. And we're going to read 3 separate books, 1 book per week. We're going to read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We're going to read Endless Referrals by Bob Berg, and we're going to read Gary Vee's Crushing It. These are 3 books that are specifically chosen by some of the top marketers to increase your sales in a 21-day challenge. Show of hands if you are excited to do the challenge again. If it's the first time, cool, awesome. You should be afraid. Excellent. Can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun. That starts on Monday, April Fools, April 1st. So please, no jokes. We're picking our avatar on day 1. We're going all in on it. Now, for everybody who is ready to do an exercise with me, show of hands if you've written down your vision, you've got it clear, you know what you're looking to accomplish, you know what you're looking to do. Excellent. So for those of you who are driving, please stay focused on the road. This is a visualization exercise, and it is recorded on Facebook and on YouTube. You can come back and you can watch this later. For those of you who are not driving, now is a good time to close your eyes, take a deep breath in all the way at the top. And I learned this from yoga, a deep breath in. And when you think you hit the top, there's a little bit more. So take a little bit of a deeper breath right at the top and then exhale, letting it out, relaxing your mind and feeling yourself at calm, visualizing your vision, just calming yourself, thinking about the good parts to it. Feel yourself slowly relaxing more and more, drifting deeper and deeper into a state of calm relaxation. You can feel your mind getting very clear, very wired in on your future, thinking 3 years into the future, visualizing yourself. Take another deep breath in, hold it at the top. 3, 2, 1, and let it out, relaxing even more, letting that breath come right out of you, feeling better and better as you're relaxing your mind. Take another deep breath in, and I want you to start visualizing, clearly thinking about the things in your life that make you feel good, acknowledging that you are a man or woman, a person of great accomplishment, a person who is moving in a direction that inspires you and inspires those around you. Now, as we walk through the next phase of this quiet meditation, I want you to visualize that you're in a room. Now, the room is lavish. The room feels comfortable to you. You look around and you see the walls are of that material that makes you feel wealthy, that makes you feel abundant. And you notice that the doorknobs and the handles on the moldings on the windows are gold. It makes you feel just postulate, just wonderful, wonderful abundance. Feeling it now, noticing it. Now, there's 3 doors. As you look around the room, you notice that there are 3 doors. Each door makes you feel special. Each door makes you feel good. As you acknowledge each one of the doors, I want you to see clearly in your mind. The first door is your door of health. It is that door of your body feeling great, feeling abundant. We're going to walk into that door in a little bit, and we're going to spend some time there and just really visualize what we want that to look like. The second door is your relationship door. This is the door where you store your memories and your thoughts around the people that you love, the people you know, like, and trust. And that third door is your material door, the material wealth, the things that you have in your life that make you feel like you've accomplished things. Maybe it's a little bit of the ego, which is an okay thing to have. So we're looking at all 3 doors. We're calm, sitting ourselves inside the center of the room. And I want you to take another deep breath in, acknowledging that this is your palace. This is your house, and these are your doors, your rooms. You control what's going to be inside of them as we walk towards them. Now, getting up onto your feet, you'll stay seated where you are, but visually seeing yourself walk towards door number 1, the health door, your physical body door. As you get closer to that door, I want you to unlock it and walk in, noticing the physical transformation that your body now has gone through, looking in the mirror and seeing yourself as that future version of yourself, the version that has gone to the gym, the version that has done the yoga, the version that has gotten the sun or gotten the procedure or gotten the teeth whitening, whatever it is that you're body 3 years from now has accomplished. Maybe you've shaved your head. Maybe you've styled your hair differently. Maybe you've looked into yourself and said, this is the color of the year, and I'm going to wear that color. Feeling yourself more limber, more stretchy, more flexible, stronger. Noticing your body feels lighter. Noticing it looks better. It's exactly the shape that it was when you were at your peak health, and somehow you've attained it again. Now, I want you to visualize you've inserted some habits, some certain small things that allow you to have this body, that practically force you into the position of having this body. Maybe it's that extra class you take a week. Maybe it's the membership you purchase and you show up a few extra times. Maybe it's the way you eat, the style you eat, the diet you eat. The food that you're putting into your body nourishes you and creates the nutrients that make your body exactly this beautiful specimen, this perfect Greek god or goddess that you see in the mirror is yours. Now, feeling you're stretching your body, feeling it just amazing, so easy to be in, so easy to experience life. It just feels so great. I want you to think a moment for a second longer and just visualize with your hand typing into your phone a message to yourself saying, "This is you." And then I want you to take a picture of yourself in the mirror, visualizing yourself with your digital phone, taking a picture of yourself in the mirror with that body and sending it to yourself and saying, "This is the future. This is who you are. This is what it looks like." And I want you to hear for a moment the compliments of the people who are saying, "Wow, you really put in the work. What a difference. You look amazing. You look 10 years younger. This is fantastic." Hear the sounds, hear the compliments. And as we walk out of the room, I want you to look back as you put your hand on the knob to close it. I want you to look back and I want you to smile and just visualize that this is your health. This is the health of your body. And it's exciting to be able to work towards the little habits every day. As we move further down the hallway, feeling great, feeling excited, feeling a little pimped up, a little pumped up from what we just saw about our future physical body. You're going to slide into the room with your relationships. Now, regardless of what the relationships were in the past, this room, this is your ideal relationships. Could be people you know, could be new people, people who have come into your life. So I want you to look around and see those people, see yourself interacting with them, hear the compliments, hear the conversations. You're not talking about other people. You're not talking about places. You are talking about ideas. You're talking about philosophies. You're talking about things that you're changing, things that you're doing together, things that you're experiencing. Think of the gifts. Think of the physical touch, the holding, the high fives, the fist bumps. Maybe think of some of those intimate moments with that special person, that uniqueness that only you get to have together. Imagine the sounds, the conversations. And I want you to again pull out your cell phone so that this stays with you for the long term. I want you to take a picture, take a selfie with that person, take a selfie with your posse, take a selfie with your staff, with your clients, with the people that you want to spend your time with, and visualize the way those relationships are with a video. I want you to pan the room and just see that exciting party of all your people around you loving and celebrating the life that you've built together because of who you are and the work you've done in their lives, how you've shown up. As we're leaving, I want you to send yourself a little message with that video, with that picture that just says, "This is who we are. This is who we surround ourselves with. We surround ourselves with the best, most amazing people who empower us, who love what we're doing, who see this as the best relationship that they have in their lives." And I want you to see that. I want you to take a deep breath in, just feeling great as we walk out of that next door with our hand closing on the knob. Just look back one more time and smile, knowing that these are the relationships with the context that you've set, that you have and are working towards every day in every way. As we move on to the next room, you're almost feeling giddy right now. Your body is tight, your body is right, you're flexible, you're bouncing, you got the posse behind you, got your people at your side. You're walking over into this next room, and you know on the other side of that door is the money that comes from being a truly, genuinely happy, healthy human being with great, healthy relationships. So you open up that golden knob, you walk your way in, and you sit down at your beautiful desk with that beautiful view that you deserve, that you built, that you aspired to have. And maybe you look out that window at the view you chose and you say, "Man, this is good. This is the good life." And I want you to open up your bank account. Look at the computer, look at your phone. You swipe through, you open up your Robinhood, your T Ameritrade, your Schwab account, and you look and you say, wow, look at all the stocks, all the assets I own that are paying me dividends. Look at the big trades I just made, the capital gains I just acquired. It's so cool. I love this. Look at this extra money just coming in easily because I choose the right investments and I hold them forever without making any small deviations to my investment strategy. I stick to the plan and I do very well because I only choose companies that I know for sure fundamentally will be here 20 years from now. I want you to look over at your bank accounts. Yes, there's many of them. You're looking at all the different companies, the different assets with different bank accounts, the cash flow coming in, the flow coming into your accounts, the storage money sitting there in case of a wonderful investment opportunity. See the numbers going up incrementally every single second. You can literally watch the numbers increasing on your phone, live action, seeing those numbers go up. Maybe you open your Stripe account and you see just the numbers racking up, more purchases, more clients, more clients, more clients, easy money, passive income, subscriptions, rents in the bank account. Maybe you're opening up your Appfolio, your Buildium account, and you're looking and you're seeing, okay, wow, look at this portfolio. Look at this portfolio of real estate. When you click on Buildium, it gives you the option of one building, or it gives you the option for all the buildings. You click all the buildings, you see the massive rent roll coming through, all the tenants paying, noticing that your property manager is charging a reasonable amount. And very exciting to look at the numbers in your bank account, seeing it all grow. And when you're in this room, you can actually see the vehicle you're driving. You see the places that you live. You can see the places you're traveling to, and notice that it always feels like there's more than enough. There's always more than enough. You can put money down on cards. You can put money down on cash whenever the time is right, and you know that it always gets paid on time. It gets paid in advance. It's so easy that other people are paying for the services that you provide, the amazing services that you provide. And as you take a deep breath in and exhale, I want you to take a screenshot of each one of those accounts, each one of those bank accounts, each one of those stock accounts, the property management accounts. I want you to take a screenshot of the wealth that you've developed, the wealth that you've built. And as we're walking out of the room and you look back, I want you to smile with the greatest gratitude, knowing that you did a lot of great work in this world in order to deserve such wonderful abundance. Even though, and you fought through imposter syndrome, you fought through procrastination, you fought through tired days, you fought through the desire to do the old, the past, the easy, and you did the things that were right. Difficult, challenging, required your discipline, required your honesty in moments where it would have been easier to lie. The things that really challenged you are the reasons that you have those stacks, those piles, those investments. And as you close that door, take another deep breath in and just smile, knowing you've done good work. That's why you get to keep this money and get to invest this money freely and easily. As you get back to the center of the room, I want you to take a deep breath in and exhale. And I want you to notice that these memories that you've locked down into your phone, they stay with you. They actually come into the real world as we come out of this storage place, this space in our mind that you can always come back to, by the way. You can come back to every one of those rooms. They're yours for life. As we slowly send energy and electricity back into our fingers, feeling great, feeling alive, opening our eyes, feeling like cool spring water has been splashed over our face, feeling alive and vibrant and welcome. Come back into this room remembering something special about that vision. And as your fingers and your hands come back to life, you look around your space, write down that one thing that came to you, that one piece of clarity and that visualization just now, that one thing that you know for sure is you, that you know for sure has to be written down because this must be remembered. This must be retained. Write it down now while you have the chance. And because we do Q&A every week while you're writing, I'll take some of the questions inside the chat. And if you have questions that are compelling to you and interesting, we'll stick around for about 15, 20 minutes answering questions. Yeah, good exercise, right? I don't want to just like pat myself on the back, but Doug's better, I know, but damn, I'm good. All right, where do I get that recording? Awesome. So, Mural, this recording can be found on YouTube. If you go to Walter Murillo on YouTube, it'd be Walter Murillo Real Estate Mentor is the channel. You'll see them streamed there. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see them streamed there. If you go to Alchemist Nation's Facebook page, they're streamed there. If you go to Alchemist Nation's Facebook group, they are streamed there as well. So this, if you go to community.alchemiststation.com, this will be streamed there as well with a written lesson plan and some freebies. Also, if you're a member of the newsletter, you'll get a recap of this on Wednesday. This recording will be sent to you on Wednesday with a small recap and a blog article on what was talked inside the mission. So inside the principle. So that is, if you aren't on the newsletter, that is your fault 100%. Actually, no, it's kind of my fault. So alchemiststation.com doesn't have a place for you to opt into the newsletter. So you kind of have to be rolling with us for a while in order to get access to it. So if you don't have access to it right now, check back on the site in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. We are putting the option to opt into the newsletter on the website on the main page. So one, let's give the team a round of applause. That's a new change that we recently realized needed to happen because people didn't have a way to opt into the newsletter. So I apologize. And a great question. So let's take other questions. Go ahead, Mike, or shares.
Hey, I wanted to point out kind of a combination. So we talked about affirmations, and then Walter, you talked about, how many people you have to deal with. Like if you want to make $1 million, you can have one person give you $1 million, two people give you $500,000, that kind of thing. But I know that you can combine the two because I remember one of our coaches, Mitch Durfee, used to have behind him all the time that chart showing the breakdown of how you could break down to get to $1 million, and he would look at it every single day. So you can combine the visualization, the affirmation, and the path to a millionaire all in one shot. So I recommend, you can find it on Pinterest or whatever, stuff like that.
It's called Millionaire Math. So you can Google Millionaire Math and you'll be able to find that image. Awesome share. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause. Great one. Let's take another question, and I'll give you a quick visualization that I use for $5 billion. This is a $5 billion portfolio with an equity position of $1 billion, which means a capital raise of almost nearly $2 billion. And so on the right side, I look at the action steps that are required. How many investors? At 50,000, it'd be 35,000 investors. That to me seems very difficult. But if I built a community of 300 locations and we had 100 investors per location, that would be 30,000 investors already. Show of hands if we could do it that way. That is an option with Alchemist Station scaling the way we are. Or, like I've mentioned to people before, I could go to 7 hedge funds that invest $250 million each. Or 4, if I needed to go to the first step and hold this for a few years to level up. Because it is entirely possible to get to that $1 billion just by holding this portfolio. The math will allow you the right actions, the clarity on the math. This is for real estate investing. Also cash flow. Show of hands if you have a question on cash flow. You'd like to see how much you'd make per property. So that is also simple math. Monthly cash flow. If you want to make 10,000 a month, somewhere between this, you'd have to own somewhere between $5 and $2 million worth of real estate today. Some of us cash flow these numbers without owning that much real estate because we have much lower mortgages and we've paid a lot of stuff off and we're at way better interest rates. Show of hands if you understand holding real estate for the long term pays off. It gets better with time. Awesome. Yeah, questions. First mute wins. Man, I took Thurman James to the gym today. You know what he told me? He said, this is hard work. This is pretty heavy. It's pretty intense. He said it makes him feel stronger, makes him feel more agile, more capable. Go ahead, Heather. I want your share on visualization. And then Billy, and then Larry, Darina. Go ahead. And Richie. Yes, go ahead. First time you wins.
Oh my goodness, this is very powerful. And I actually posted this morning that where you want to be, the moves you make today dictate where you want to be. And a whole lot of that has to do with visualization and seeing where you want to be. And I use that. I'm going to do it more because I really have not been doing it enough. So I know that I must do that. But I am here because of what I visualized. I believe that 100%. So absolutely, it's I'm meeting people because of what I wanted to happen, in the past. So that's that path that's going on too. So I agree. I just got the book too, the one that Mike talked about. I just got it. So I'm really going to work on that. So thank you, Mike.
You will love that book because it is written, actually, Vivid Vision was written by a coach. He was an actual coach who was teaching business people. So Vivid Vision, different book, but creative visualization, such a powerful, effective book for us to create a lifestyle that we want to move into.
Yes.
Yes, Anthony, absolutely. Dorena, can we bring everybody in the attendees area and bring them in as panelists so they can be part of the Q&A session? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for asking. That's normally what we like to do. All right, next up, go ahead.
What's up, everybody? So good to see everyone once again. Man, this just lands strong, like really, really strong. And as always, I'd like to offer something that has truly served me, not just from an observation level, but truly internally. So every single day, one of the habits that I've created that has really served me, it's called habit revising, or I'm sorry, vision redirecting. And when you connect every single day, once you create your vision, visit it every single morning. And here's why. Because your daily actions truly determine your destiny. So when you have a strong vision, let's just use a bodybuilder for conversation reason. They don't really enjoy eating egg whites every morning or fasted cardio. But the vision, what it does is it creates an attachment to the activity. So you could have a wealth vision, you could have a body vision, but like Walter was saying, which is so powerful, your vision is only created by the decisions you make. And the way you show up to make those decisions is really based on your vision. So every call that you have to make a sale, you might have an emotional attachment. So when your vision pulled, when your vision directed, it's not just a call, it's just an action to do to get to that vision. When you make a decision of whether I'm eating nutrient-dense food or junk food, it's not just the meal by itself, it's pulling you towards that strong vision. So when you anchor that every single morning, everybody has a vision today because Walter, one of the best guided meditations I've had in a long time, brother. So much appreciation. But to really ascend this, take this vision that we all created, I know I am, like really write it down, and every single morning, read it. Every single morning, allow that new, awesome, ideal vision to pull you. And what you're going to see, which I promise you this will happen, when you show up every day and you do the daily task, the daily actions to improve your health, to improve your relationships, build your business, you're going to do so and you're going to feel a different emotion. Because you know now it's not just a call, it's one more step to your millionaire path. It's one more meal to that ideal physique. It's one more conversation with your queen to reignite a marriage, right? Every big goal is broken down by small steps. So again, being vision directed, it's like I'm like getting goosebumps. You can't see it on Zoom, but I'm like fired up right now. Walter, amazing. Love you. Love this community. You guys are awesome.
Give Billy Reuter a round of applause. That reminds me of something very quickly before we bring Larry on. Uh, we've been working on behind the scenes. There's something called the Power Producer Academy, right? It's not available to anybody right now through Alchemist Nation, but Billy does offer it. And we've been thinking about partnering up with Billy and bringing it to you at a steep discount, a deal, an opportunity price. And this is something that goes on for 8 weeks, and it's a 8 week process. One time a week you get together, but there's modules for training and education on the 9 pillars of success. He goes through the trifecta and helps you reset and make sure you're taking the right actions. It's a very tactical training, and it's what we think is going to replace our old mentorship program. So the old mentorship program was 8 weeks, and it was really designed for real estate investors who are looking to buy more real estate, which now our mastermind is actually a much more effective place to do that. But what we've been looking at is Alchemist Nation is much more entrepreneurs than it ever was in the past. In the past, it was a lot of real estate investors, and now we're moving more towards a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs and looking at the challenges they have and they're facing. They're very much business based. They're sales based, they're marketing based, they're business based. And we've been looking at bringing in Billy's program. I can't guarantee any of this will happen. I'm just looking for a vote. If we do bring in a program that's 12 weeks long to kickstart your business, and it's called the Power Producer Academy, and it's under $1,000, if it was $1,000 price tag, would this be something that you would be interested in? Show of hands, if this is something you know you'd invest in, or you know a few people you'd send to it as well. Awesome. Okay, a handful of people. So it's something that okay, the people that it is, I think are worth putting through it. So that's perfect. Drop yes in the actually just put PP in the chat. PP. Put it in the chat if Power Producer is something that you're interested in, so we can count that up later on. And I know there's a bunch of attendees who have declined panelist. That's on you. That's that is not on me. I did invite you. So for let's get some questions out. But the panelists, anybody who's an attendee can ask questions
Well,
also
Walter,
in
I
the
have a
chat. We'll keep an
question.
eye on it. Go ahead. Yep. And then Larry's next.
So I
And
believe
then
in a
Mike.
whole bunch of supernatural stuff, and I believe in power of logic. And what I notice is like everything in the Bible that works has a strong logical foundation in addition to whoever help God may produce. So, what is the logical foundation psychology of why affirmations work so well?
Oh man, I love that. Oh, so I've studied this. So this is one of my the psychology of the brain is so important for each one of you to understand. Why this works is not a woo-woo thing. This isn't actually like just spirits making things happen. What is actually happening is your brain has something called a reticular activator inside of it. And it's near your limbic system, which is a very emotional part of your brain. And so what happens is your prefrontal cortex, this is the part where you make actual decisions. When it decides and sends something back into the reticular activator, suddenly you start seeing opportunity. Suddenly, you're driving down the road and you're looking for a parking space. Suddenly, you start noticing the gas coming out of the muffler of the car. You start seeing brake lights in a different way than you ever saw them before. You start seeing people walking to their cars thinking, aha, that person could be having my spot, like preparing it. So it's because tactically, when you visualize something, you now know how to get to it. It's kind of like if you're riding your bike, that if you're riding a bike and there's a turtle in the road and you look at that turtle, you're going to kill the motherfucker. Like you're going to hit them dead on. So you have to look somewhere else. You have to see a different point of view. You want to go around the turtles. You want to see off to the side. Now, obviously, we all rubberneck, and that's why people stay in the past. We all look back. We want to see, how exciting things were. And so when our vision's a little muddied from looking back or from looking sideways or looking at other people's fucking lives, we don't get what we want as quickly as we could. When we start looking at the life we want with our bodies, with our mind, with our family, with our relationships, with our hard work, our skills, we end up much closer to our real vision. And it is a tactical thing that happens not biologically, but it's actually like neurologically wired so that you can be successful. Does that help, Richie?
It helps a lot. One quick thing. I have my event Tuesday. If you're not able to come, I need to meet with you so I can do as good a job as you did at the event.
I love it, brother. Just shoot me a text. We'll schedule a call. We can maybe do something later
Thanks.
today or on. I don't normally do calls on Sunday because your event's coming up. We'll do it on Monday. Is that cool?
Gotcha. Thanks.
Awesome.
Want to have a little bit of fun with this?
Hold on, Michael Shine. Michael Shine is gonna kill me if I let you go first, Larry. It's a seniority thing.
No,
I think he's older than you too.
No. I just wanted to also address Richard. You can go much deeper into this, Richard, if you want to study. I would recommend Joe Dispenza. And I can't get into it right now, but there's a conscious mind and there's a subconscious mind. And when you do affirmations, they feed things to your subconscious mind. And like I said, read any of Joe Dispenza's book. It goes much deeper into this. You becoming supernatural. You are the placebo. Anyways, and it's just all about affirmations and just telling your subconscious mind stuff, and then it automatically believes it, and that causes it to happen. It's tons of, especially Richard. The reason I recommend Joe Dispenza is because he backs it up with science, and it's just amazing to see the science part of it. So yeah.
What's the best book of him to read?
I think Becoming Supernatural is probably the first one. He has like 3 or 4 books, but Becoming Supernatural is yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Joe Dispenza really breaks down the science of why the woo-woo and the spiritual and the religious actually are very effective. Go ahead, Larry, and then Trevor, I saw you on mute, so let's let Larry Steinhaus go first.
I have a completely a simple version of why this all works. Richard, where'd you go, man?
He's here.
He was walked away. He don't want to hear it.
Oh, he can hear us.
Something interesting happened. It started raining outside, so I came inside, and then when he said that, the door closed on its own.
Really? See that?
Yeah.
So I have a really simple reality for you or non-reality for you, whatever you want to call it. I know the exact day the world was created.
Uh-oh.
Anybody else know it?
Go ahead, Larry.
You ready?
You,
I'll
you
give you a
got a
date.
room full of millionaires who don't know when the Earth was created.
I can tell you the exact day the world was created. November 27th, 1963.
He was born.
That's when Kennedy was killed.
Are you out of your freaking mind? No. That was the day I was born.
See?
That's in the same month as when Kennedy was killed.
I know. It was 2 days before. It was 2 days after Kennedy was killed. Why are we going to Kennedy? What are you talking about? We're talking about you. You want to talk about a dead man or you want to talk about a live man who can make $1 million?
You know, it's all about who's better known. Larry, we got to get you back into the challenge, man. Show fans if you'd like to see Larry Steinhaus famous. I think it would be very healthy for the world. I think we've already got enough crazy characters out there famous, so we need our own crazy out there.
I got a second piece of that, Richard. Since you didn't want to leave, since you didn't like the first part, the second part is: you ever hear the expression "the world revolves around you"?
Yes.
I was told it doesn't, but I think they're wrong.
I absolutely they're wrong. The world absolutely revolves around you. Richard, stand up and turn around 360 degrees. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Sit down. Did the world just revolve around you?
Yes.
Absolutely. So if the day the world was created was the day you were born and the world revolves around you, what do you want? It's all yours. Anything out there is yours.
It's beautiful. Let's give Larry Steinhaus
beautiful.
a round of applause. And by the way, Larry knows a little more than just the woo. He's very good with subject too. I took a selfie with Pace Morby the other day, and I sent it to Larry Steinhaus just so I could have my kicks of the day. I took the picture as I was walking towards Pace Morby and Myron Golden. I see both legends side by side, and I'm like, can I get a picture with Myron? Because I'm like, it's Myron Golden, and I got to get a picture with him because he's like impossible to get. And so Pace Morby takes my phone and says, "Bro, I got you. I got this." Pace Morby takes my phone. He takes a picture of me and Myron, and he says, "Look, I'll be right back. I just want to walk Myron to his car. I want to be respectful as my mentor, so I want to walk him to his car." So as I'm walking away, I suddenly was like, "Fuck, I think Larry's wrong about this guy. I think he's actually he's a pretty decent guy."
Did I say he's not a nice guy? I've never said
sorry,
that.
Larry.
In fact, I got to tell you, I know a
want to
lot of
share.
people know. I think he's a nice guy. I think what he's teaching is dangerous. It's
Agreed.
unethical and it's immoral. And be really, really careful about how much money you're going to lose, especially in the Gator method. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just hand an amateur real estate investor $25,000 to put down his earnest money deposit. And if he doesn't close, guess who loses the $25,000? You do. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. With no
Agreed.
collateral? Are you out of your mind? Hey, Galter, who does collateral the best that you've ever seen?
Oh, you, man. Terrifying. Yeah. I did a loan. Larry's only loan ever in his history as an investor was to me and Dorina and Greg. So like we were on the backside of that paperwork and I looked at Dorina. I was like, we can't fuck this one up. Like we've never messed up a loan, but this one made me feel like like there might be an army of attorneys coming after me.
It wasn't, and actually there would be no army of attorneys coming after you. You didn't even need it. It was so easy. It was, you just walk into the judge, he signed this, give me the money.
But it was a very good document. And absolutely. Go ahead.
And I
Mike
wrote
Shine.
it. I should show it to Mike Shine and say, hey, I knew I should have been a lawyer.
Oh, Michael loved that doc.
I think Larry would be a better lawyer than I ever was.
So
I think
my mother,
there's
my mother always says to me, my mother
What?
has for years, we said, you should be a lawyer. And you know what I said? I can't take the pay cut.
Yeah, right. That kind of reminds me of what Walter was saying earlier, where you say, you realize that your practice or your job isn't going to make you the millionaire, and that kind of pushed me towards doing the real estate, because people think that lawyers just make tons of money, but actually my wealth has come from doing the real estate, and it's really the steps that Walter has taught. So
Awesome.
I digress, but I just wanted to point something out. I'm a big believer in people people in your life or people you meet just kind of say shit and you're like, wow, that like that bumper sticker is speaking to me, or that person is saying something. And I recently heard somebody say something, when something happens in your life and it's maybe not you're interpreting it as not the greatest, as not good news, and you're like, you look and you say, well, that's a blessing because this happened. So I was talking to this lady, and she said to me this phrase. I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I had to write it down. And she said, every kick is a boost. So every time something happens and you sit there and you go, wow, why did that happen or whatever? Yeah, blessings in disguise. You're absolutely right, Michelle. It's every kick is a boost. And I said, oh, could you say that again? I need to write that down, because sometimes God sends you something or the universe sends you something and you're like, wow, that wasn't really what I expected. And then you realize that it ends up being a total blessing. So every kick is a boost. So yeah.
Give Mike Shine a round of applause. This is why we call him the holistic attorney, the closer. And he's the keeper of the books because he brings the books. Before we go to you, Trevor, I have a story that I want to tell. I was at the Tampa Bay Real Estate Investors Business and Real Estate Professionals Network, Alchemist Nation's event here in Tampa Bay. And I went to the hospital with Darina to learn how to do breathing and technique to put out a baby. She's totally fine. We were just there at a class in the hospital. And after that, it was like 10 o'clock. I said, I'm going to go back to the Alchemist Nation event just to see who the closers are. Who's still there at 10 o'clock? There are 4 people. And 2 of them, it was Megan, it was Denise, both are sponsors and leaders of the group. And then there was a gentleman, Ian, who was a friend of Richie Decker. He drove all the way from Lakeland to come out because Richie said, you got to go to that event. And then there was Rick Aon. Now, Rick Aon got into this community from a very unique way. He never came on this call. He never came to one of my live in-person trainings that were free. He never saw me speak at a Real Estate Investor Association or at a realtors event or at another person's stage. He never saw me on a podcast. He never saw me on the internet. Rick Aon came to Mission to Millions. He paid $2,500. Or was it $3,500? What were we charging back then? He paid full price. What was it?
25.
25. He paid full price for this event, $2,500. And we weren't sure if we were going to run it, right? We had Kim Rodriguez. We had all of our players. Mike Shine came. We had all these players who were paying to come. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to do the event. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do it. And then a stranger paid, a guy I didn't know paid. And I was like, oh, fuck, I've got to do it now. Like, now I can't back out. Like, if my community would forgive me, like, you guys would be like, okay, he'll do it some other time. But Rick is a guy I didn't know, and his name was like on the list. And I told everybody, I was like, we're definitely going to do it now because somebody else is paid. So now it's let's pony up, let's do it. And I started taking deposits, and we rented the house, we did the thing. The other night, I was there with Rick, and Rick told me, he said, you changed my life at that event. I came to Mission to Millions, and ever since then, this community has changed my life. The people I've met, he said, I started my business. I'm selling now. I never used to sell. I was scared. Wasn't sure if the business I was starting was a good idea. You guys showed me a business plan, helped me work through it. He said, my real estate out in California, somebody else would have had me sell it. You told me to keep it. You helped me, through some of the management that I have, and, helped me buy more. And he said, he's like, I'm motivated. And now Rick recently got some unpleasant news from the doctors. And he told me, he said, I got that news this morning. I came to this event because I knew this is where I needed to be. Like, just this energy, like this group, this community is what makes me feel like no matter what happens, not even real estate related, that I can do it. I can get through it. Like, life's going to be okay. We're going to find a way to get through these moments. And if it wasn't for running Mission to Millions 4 years ago and meeting him, he wouldn't have had that experience. And he put $2,500 down an event he knew nothing about. He knew nothing about what we were doing. He knew nothing about Alchemist Nation. He didn't know what to expect. And he just went on faith. And that has been a real inspiration to me to watch, Rick develop and grow through the community from an event that is by far, I think, one of our most impactful events. Mission to Millions truly is one of our most impactful events. Although I will say that the summit is our most fun event. It is a very fun event. It is a very important event. It's a very impactful event when it comes to putting our business plan together, setting our goals, and building our partnerships with our team members and the people who were going to be team members with. A lot of partnerships are created at the summit. It's a very business focused event. We do a lot of business there. But in fact, Larry, I think, did $1 million deal from being at the summit last year. Not from being on stage, but from being in the room, by being effective and being actually in the room, paying attention to the entire hotel and doing his whole process. There's somebody who's, hold on. I saw your hand up, brother. I saw the hand. Is it Trevor? Was that Trevor in the truck? Go ahead,
Yes,
Trevor. You still
Trevor.
there? No, he just dropped off. Or is he still there? Yeah, he dropped off. All right. Anyway, I tell the story because the events you go to and the people you meet and the relationships you have can be more than just money, right? Alchemist Nation was never just about money. It was about paying it forward. It was about doing good for others. And I may be in some partnerships as we get deeper into the yoga. I may, at Train the Trainer, be having a yoga instructor come out and teach abundance yoga, which is something I had done at Mission and Millions for the first time ever in Alchemist Station. And I may reveal some of that at Mission and Millions, some of what those yoga poses are, so you can use them in a practical manner. Uh, Alchemist Station really is about the mind, body, the health, the wealth, the relationships. But it's hard to spend time on your body. It's hard to spend time in your relationships if you're always focused on money. And Ron and I recognized that years ago. We said, if we could solve the money problem, I bet you they'd work out more. I bet you they'd spend more money on the quality of their food. I bet you if they knew money was coming in, they'd feel more confident about committing to that spouse or that partnership, or they'd take that time for that vacation to really work on their relationship. I bet if they understood money, they'd probably have more strength in the other components in their lifestyle. And I also want to throw out to you that if you're not taking care of your body, you're probably not taking care of your business. If you're not taking care of your relationships, you're probably dropping somewhere in the money game. So just as a consideration this week, as a consideration going forward, your vision of yourself should not be what somebody else thought about you years ago. At the conversation with Thurbin this morning, he said, Walter, he's like, how do you deal with stress? Or how do you deal with stress? And he also asked me another question. He said, like, you're in the gym doing this. He's like, was it always this way? Were you always this disciplined? Did you always know what you wanted to be? And I told him, no, I was not this disciplined. I did not always know what I wanted to be. In fact, when I was raised, I was told I was lazy. I was told that I was dumb, that I was slow, that I couldn't figure things out. I was homeschooled because of that. And even at home, my mom told me I was lazy. My mom told me I was slow. And I had this belief system that I was slow and lazy. And as soon as I said that, he said, yeah, I can relate to that. I got people in my life who call me lazy. They know I'm smart, but they call me lazy. And I said, what I had to learn was that I'm not a hard worker, but I am a motherfucker. Like I am a disciplined grinder, right? I don't do hard work, but nobody will outwork me when I'm acquiring a skill, when I'm acquiring an asset, when I'm acquiring a relationship, when I'm getting to another level. Like I am like I cannot be outworked because I just will not sleep. I will force my body to do things that are unreasonable, like beyond what other people want to do. I will force the skill. I will force my mind to get to a sharper level. So in the negotiation, I am prepared and I know all the different avenues that we're going to go down that channel, but whatever it is. And I told him it's not hard work. I don't like hard work. I'm against it. I'm lazy because I'm inefficient. I hate inefficiencies. But man, if something's going to get me what I want, nothing can stop me from going. I will go through the fucking mountain. Nothing will stop me from getting what I'm looking for. Nothing will stop me from borrowing the money, from getting the deal, from creating the vision, from writing the book, from whatever, to getting on the stage, to learn how to speak. Whatever stops other people, I can't be stopped because I've set my mind to something. And he asked, he's like, have you always been that way? I said, that I have always been, but I didn't know that was my secret power. I didn't know that was my superpower. That's just my addictive personality. And in the past, I was addicted to video games. Or I was addicted to replacing, my time, like avoiding my family with, books or with movies or with cartoons or with homework or schoolwork, whatever I could to get away from the trauma inside my house. I was addicted to escape. When I shifted and I got addicted to solutions and I got addicted to skill sets, everything changed for me. I got obsessed with who I wanted to be versus who I was. And I stopped trusting the people who were telling me who I was because they didn't know where I was going. I realized nobody knew where I was going except for me. I had to make that decision and I had to trust only me because I was the only one who understood that I was capable of significantly more. And I think each one of you at some point, in order to nail your vision down, you have to know you're the only one who has to believe. You're the only one who has to see it. You're the only one who has to do the work every day. And one day, somebody is going to notice that you've done it. And that will fuel the next year, the next year, the next year. Show of hands if you see this. You can see your vision. You know where you're going. Nobody else has to believe. But I will tell you, in this community, nobody will ever dissuade you from your vision. In this community, nobody will ever say that's impossible, right? In this community, we're trained to say, I want to see it done. I can't wait. If I can support you in any way, I will, as long as it's moral, ethical, and done legally. Show of hands if you agree. Go ahead, Larry. I know there's no way I can do that without you coming in.
I tried to dissuade you from this exact thing you created. And I am so happy I did that because you said, F you, Larry, I'm going to show you. And I thought that was great. So thank you, Galter, for telling me I was wrong.
Brother, it's rare. It's rare that I get to say that to you because on the real estate side, you do very, very well. And I think on the community building side, you are becoming an amazing leader, a wonderful, charismatic leader that people love following.
Well,
And
you,
it's amazing to watch the shift. It's amazing to watch your brand get more cohesive and get more clear, and seeing you tactically, really intentionally creating and spending time on the right content. Let's give Larry Steinhaus a round of applause. I set a goal for Larry. I want to see him have 1 million followers across platforms, and I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know that he's going to do it because he's got
I don't
all
know
of
how
us.
to do it either. If you could tell me how to do it, I'd do it.
Well, I got a book for you, Larry.
All right.
The book is 1 million followers.
Yeah, there you go. I think
How I built a
have that.
massive social media following in 30 days. So
I think I have that. I think I have it on my Kindle.
I have a feeling you're going to get it on audio and listen to it often because the book really has a wonderful philosophy that you're going to love.
Excellent. Thank you, man. Hey, by the
Yeah,
way, you know,
always.
if we were in person, I'd give you a big hug.
I know, man. Well, I'm all sweaty. I got sweat under the armpits because, it's cooking in here.
Okay, it would be a
Walter-
man hug. It wouldn't be a woman
Walter-
kind of hug, so it's okay.
It'd be a wet hug.
Trevor's back on. If you
Trevor! All right, we're gonna jump off, but Trevor has earned the right to get the last question. So Trevor, you're up, brother. Trevor Mills.
What's up, y'all? It wasn't really a question. It was just to add, if you're curious about what Larry talked about, Joe Dispenza, there's a lot of his content for free on Spotify. That's how I actually first ran into him. And he, like I said, great explanations on understanding how to reprogram the subconscious mind and how that all works through science and experiments he's done. Really, really interesting stuff. And if you think about it, Joe Dispenza ties in with Think and Grow Rich, which ties in with teachings of Jim Rohn, teachings of the Four Agreements, and what Billy talked about, which I think that's the thing I struggle with, is creating that master sheet, that master vision, that one piece of paper is that you just read again and again and again. The very first chapter talks about that in Think and Grow Rich. Morning, noon, and night. Morning, noon, and night. In Think and Grow Rich, there's an example of this pastor, this preacher, who wanted to start a college for men only. And for 2 years, he thought about it. He hemmed about it. He's like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. The day that he went to give the speech, he forgot the speech in front of the church. But he knew about it for so long. He visualized it over and over for 2 years. And he gave the speech anyways in front of the, a full church. And at the end of the sermon, somebody walked up and gave him $1 million check that he needed to start college. So pretty powerful stuff that y'all talked about today.
Give Trevor Mills a round of applause. He's been in the Recession Proof Challenge multiple times, built a community, and is doing a wonderful job leading them towards success. Each one of you on this call has the capacity to help others. I want to give each one of you a big round of applause for all the work you've done over the last few years together with us. And if you're new, if you're just joining the community, go to alchemistnation.com, get access to all the free resources. Start with step 1, your millionaire path, get your free millionaire path report. Step 2, keep coming back to the 52 weeks to wealth. Each wealth principle stacks on the previous wealth principle, and we're going to continue pushing forward, and then get your local community figured out. Find out who is your local realtor, local attorney, financial planner, mortgage broker. Find out who's doing deals in your market. Get your actual mentors, get the people who can do business with you. I'll bring you to the website really quickly. This, by the way, is a new modern update. It says 3 steps to financial freedom. I love it. The new website is so much cleaner and easier to navigate. So step 1, step 2, and then step 3, find your local meetup. If you are interested in the Business and Real Estate Investors Summit, you can click this link, and now you can buy your tickets and register for October 18th to the 20th. We're all going to be live in person in Orlando. So very excited about that one. If you're interested in sponsoring a local event, you want more exposure to our community, go hit the application process. It's not a guarantee that you'll become a sponsor. It is an application process. You have to talk to somebody on our team, and then you have to talk to our local leader to see if it works for you. I wanted to show you how you can find the next events, the next wealth principle. So when you come into here, if you are in the challenge, you'll have access to it there. If you are not, go to feed, go to the 52 wealth principles, and then scroll down to wealth principle 22, which is seek out strategic partnerships and affiliates, which is literally what we're doing in Alchemist Nation right now. So you will see that as we reveal it over the next couple of weeks. And the book of the week for next week will be Michael Shine's book, Fast Track to Millions, How to Profit Through Partnerships. You can click on the link. It'll bring you to the book so you can buy it on Amazon. Here's what I'm going to ask any one of the books. Please write a review if the book has had a positive impact on your life. Some of the authors are in the community. Some of them are not, but every author ever likes reviews, and every reader ever likes to read reviews just to make sure that book is good for them. So if you're leaving a review, you could be helping somebody just through a small effort of your time. And of course, Larry Steinhaus had to throw his book on his screen. So if you haven't read the book, Money Hacks, I need you to read the book and then find out what wealth principle it is attached to. And it has to be one that you think that the book that already is there could be replaced by this book, which could be difficult. But the challenge goes to you. So it's way later than I wanted to go today. So for each one of you who's stuck on, awesome. That means you probably got a lot of financial freedom in your life. You got time to play. And for those of you who stuck on because you don't know what activity to go do next, look at your vision, run some KPIs, go take action. If you got family next to you, smile, hug, give them some love, and make a post on social media today. Remember, the best post that you can make today would be the 7 types of income. This is a hot topic that a lot of people have no clue what those actually are, but everybody's heard. By the way, show of hands if you've heard millionaires have 7 streams of income. Awesome. And today was either the first time you heard what those are, or it was a good reminder. Okay, excellent. So that's relevant content that nobody's talking about. So if you've ever watched a video on TikTok, like nobody's talking about these 7 streams of income every millionaire has, that is the sort of video that you could do that would increase your influence. Show of hands if it's valuable if we do this every week. If I throw a little suggestion at you. All right, cool. Maybe I'll continue to do that. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. I'll see you next week.